right? So, but I'm also recording the screen. So, so today I want to start off with Gmail, right? As we say, Google Apps, the hub of everything is your what do you call it? Email. Now this isn't an account. Now I receive these emails in my rob@aubrey.net, my mission, but this is a different email. This is my Want More Leads account. So I kind of use this more as a demo. Now all these emails they were received in my actual inbox at rob@aubrey.net. They've been read. So because one of the things I said is if you have 3,800 unread emails, well, you're not doing it right. So, that, there's Brooke joining in. Let me show her the instructions. Top left corner. Once you click on the icon, it shows you the phone number, right? You don't have to figure it out, right? Is that correct? Yeah, it just says call by phone, and if you click call by phone, it gives you the. I see. Okay, so it should be fine. Just top left corner. So so give her a second. She's joining. So like I said, if your inbox, is just full of unread mail, you're just not doing it right. And the thing is, the email is so powerful because it's all the documents we collect go there. We receive documents by email. Pretty much we do almost everything by email, right? So, and it's also great for court documents, right? If you go ahead and have everything in an email, including all your files, I mean, it's pretty good evidence in court, right? And that's one of the things I love about Google Voice, because my Google Voice is, I can generate a report of I can, place calls, missed calls, voicemails, text messages. I can generate a report of all that and, go into court with it and say, yeah, you've never tried to call me, or I've tried to call you many times, type of thing. So just for that alone, just for the ability to have, the just for court alone is worth it, right? So, but anyway, so let's go back to the email. Like I said, this is an account I have, but like I said, they're all read somewhere else. So one of the first things I want you to notice is how I have it set up, right? I have what's called a priority inbox. A lot of people get the tabs where they have the tabs going across the top and they have like social and that kind of stuff and advertising. So a lot of people have those, where I use what's called a priority inbox, right? And this is what's called a priority inbox. And that's done via settings, and we'll go in there for a minute, and I'll show you what it does. So if you look, so right now, so I have 4 layers of inbox. So my first layer is important and unread. Important and unread. And you can train things that'll be important or not important, right? So we can train those, and I'll show you how that's done, right? So then my next box, or my next layer, if you will, is important. So after I've read an important unread email, so if I read this and then I click on it, okay, and then I go back to my inbox, that mail is going to drop down here. So now I only have important unread up top, and I will show you how to filter and train your inbox so that all the stuff you need to work on is up here. Everything else is kind of like not as important, right? So then here you can create labels and have that label appear here, or you can just hit a star, right? So if you star an email, it'll land here. So and then the next layer is just everything else. Okay, so just all your other emails, they just wind up down here. Now remember, this particular email account is, I don't use this one to log in and read my email. I receive these emails in my rob@aubrey.net email account. So that's why you see everything unread. So in my personal email right now, I have 4 unread at the top. Like right here's what my mission critical site looks like. I have 4 at the top, and then I have my important read. Then down here I actually have to do. So I created a label to do. So if I need to do something, I just I change the label and then archive it, and it lands there. And then just the rest. I mean, I go through this when I have time, and usually this is select, alt, delete. So anyway, so the way you set up the way you set up a priority inbox is you go to over here to the gear, right? And then you go to settings. And then when you get to settings, it looks like this. So this is the back end of your Gmail. These are like tabs, right? So labels, inbox, and that's where you set up priorities. So accounts where you can pull in other accounts, filters and blocked addresses, forwarding. So if you set up a forwarding, you can. So in order you can create. So if you set up a forwarding email address, you can actually create a rule that any mail that equals these parameters, forward it to this email address. There's your chat settings, your labs. So labs is going to be labs is pretty cool too. We're going to do something in labs. Keyboard shortcuts. So you can have like compose. So if you just hit the letter C, boom, you're going to open up a new email. Then you got themes. You can actually create themes. And then Streak is an add-on I have. So let's go to inbox first, because that's the first thing I want to set up as your priority inbox. So if you look right here, it says priority inbox. So these are the different types of email. So you got default, right? You got your default inbox. And then which I have priority inbox, not my default. So then I set it up. So now you have these here, what you can set up. So here I have important and unread, right? So then you go here and you can change the settings, right? So I can make this one whatever I want, right? So more options is where you put a label. But then I can say how many I want, 25. So if I have more than 25 in that inbox, I have to click on the thing and I'll show you how that works. Then it's you want to make sure unread messages are first, right? So I have important, unread, important, starred, and everything else. So, and then show markers, you want to make sure that's checked. And then use my past actions to predict which messages are important. So if you're replying to somebody's email often, then then Google's going to say, okay, based on your actions, I'm going to make that an important email. But you can also designate what's important and what's not, and I'll show you how that's done. So you do that in your settings gear and then your inbox tab. There's one other thing I want to show you, and that's Quicklinks. And I want you to use Quicklinks. I definitely want you to use those, and I'll show you where that's at. That's over in a thing called Labs. So if you go over to Labs, the other thing I do on Quicklinks is I do right side chat. So over here you have all your chat. If you do right side chat, so the way you find it, so you just type in the word quick up at this little box, and then you're going to find Quicklinks. So you just check enable. And then you can hit save at the bottom. But before you do that, so just search quick, type enable, and click the enable, and then do the other side, and then type in right. So then you're going to find right side chat, and then hit enable there. And after you enable both of those, then I want you to go down to either here at the top or down at the bottom and hit save changes. So those two things are going to help. They are going to tremendously help you with your inbox and organizing your mail, because we have so much communication that you have to have this stuff under control. If not, you're going to go nuts. So somebody just joined, I guess. Or we lost somebody. Hopefully somebody joined. So now that you have that done, so let's go back to inbox, right? So when you refresh your inbox, you should see multiple things. Now, the way to train mail, so if you get mail that's unimportant, you click on this. So if this email were unimportant, you would just click on this little orange thing there. And by changing it, so like, for example, what do you call it? I'm going to go ahead and, so like join me recording, right? So this one right here, to join me, I'm going to say that's an important email. So I'm going to check that box. It's turning orange, right? So this conversation has been marked as important. So I'm training my inbox to what's important and what's not. So if I hit inbox again, that email is going to be, it's up there because it was unread. Then if I click it, I read it, and then I go back, and then now it's going to appear down here if I hit refresh. So now my email is down here. It's important, but it's read. So important, unread. So as you train your inbox over and over and over, only important emails will float to the top. So when you log in, your important emails right there, unread and important. It's right there. And then things that aren't important, just train them. You click on it, and boom, it moves down here. So, um, so those does that makes so hopefully you all get that. That's a very powerful tool. So that alone will just like change your world just by getting in your box. Because then you come down here and just go like this, right? Select the first one, scroll down to the bottom, hold the shift key, hit the second key. They're all selected. Then you just come up here and go delete. Right? And they're all gone. I mean, of course, they were replaced with 25 more because it says 1 of 20 of many, right? So, in other words, if you have more than 25, you would just click on this thing here, and it'll just show you that particular box, my important unread. So if I had 30, I would click on that little number, and I would have had just the 30. That would have had just those emails. So this one here, and it's showing you that there's multiple emails because that was in that thread. So it's showing you the thread count and that kind of stuff. So there's just some great tools with that. So the other thing that's very important to work in a real estate transaction, in a real estate practice, is you want to have you want to use labels. If you're an Outlook user, an old Outlook user, Outlook used folders where Gmail uses labels. Now, the cool part about labels is, so one of the things that, let me back up for a second before you go there. So to get your head around how labels work is, all your emails are in one big box, right? So in other words, your emails aren't stored in different folders like they would be in Outlook, right? If you created a folder for a client, then that email goes there, and that's where it exists. It can't exist anywhere else. Well, Gmail essentially uses one giant folder, right? I mean, one giant box, warehouse, if you will. So everything's in there. Your inbox is in there. Your sent mail's in there. Everything's in one giant warehouse. Now, the fundamental difference is each email gets a label. So when you're sitting in your box, and right now, what we're in. Yes. I'll start that over with my new mouth, right? So right here, what we have is we have a report of everything that's in our inbox, right? So we click on inbox, we get a report. So essentially, all it's now doing is going into the warehouse, finding all emails that are tagged inbox and bringing them up and showing them to us. Same thing with sent. We go into sent. These are just emails that are marked sent, brought them all over, and reported it to us. So now, we can add labels. So by adding labels, we have the ability to do what's like to generate a report, if you will, right? So that's the way to think about Gmail is that it's a warehouse and you're going to generate a report. So what I like to do, you have labels, and then they use what's called nested labels, or another way is a sub label. They just call them nested. I wish they would kind of get the uniform on there, because in contacts they're groups, in emails they're labels, and in Drive they're folders. It's like I wish they would kind of get a uniform way of thinking there and call everything the same. So anyway, but with labels, so I like to have a label called clients, right? And then I like to make nested labels underneath clients. And then that way there, I can, I can nest labels under clients, and I can generate reports in the future. So the way to create a label is you go to settings, first settings, and then you go to labels, and then the new is you go down to create new label, right? These are circles and things like that, and categories are a little different. Inboxes is your system labels. In other words, these are labels that are created by the system. Then you come down here and you say create a new label. Just click on create, and then you type in clients. That's all you need to do, and then we can create the nested labels on the fly from the actual email itself. So let's go back to the inbox. And if somebody's there, would somebody just go ahead and send me an email, or Actually, 2 people send me an email, 3. I don't care if you all send me one, doesn't matter. So let's just go ahead and do that. And then I'll show you a way of organizing emails so that for 2 things. One is that they're just organized for the file itself. 2 is in the future, you can just generate a report for that too if you ever needed it in a court of law. So, send me, I apologize. Make sure you send an email to rob@wantemoreleads.com, rob@wantemoreleads.com. So then as they come in, I'll show you how to do it. So let's take, for example, this email was from a guy named Sahil. He is a guy I work with that helps me with some of my technology coding. So, but let's say I have a transaction. I have a client, and his name is, so let's just say Sahil. He's the transaction. Now, you don't want to label a person. You want to label a transaction. You want to label a transaction, not a person, because you can always just search for the person. But so a transaction may get emails from multiple people, meaning you may get an email from the title company, the mortgage company, the co-agent, or the client themselves, and that's all belongs to the transaction. So you want to label a transaction. Does that make sense? So let's see. So Brooks so it's interesting, Brooke. It came in my rob@aubrey.net email, but it didn't come in my my main one. That's must have went to spam, right? Oh, there it is. So there's Brooks' email. So I made sure. So I had to hit refresh. So it's important. It's marked important. But if I were to, if I wanted to make it unimportant, I would just click on it. But I'm going to create a file, or I'm sorry, a label for Brooke. So the way I do that is I open up the email, right? Once it's open, I have these other icons up here, right? So I can say more, right? More. I can either do a filter, right? But I'm not going to do a filter. I'm just going to create a label. So I'm going to say label. I'm going to go down and create new, right? So I'm just going to call it and then DO. How do you spell? There it is. I can see it. So it's DOU. No, right? Yeah, SA. So, but then it says nest label under. So I'm going to choose nest label under. I'm going to go to clients. So there, boom, I just created that. So I just created clients DeSuso. Sorry, Brooke, if I murdered it. But now that label's there. So, and then when I hit archive, this is the archive. So archive emails don't disappear. They're just in the warehouse, but with the inbox label removed. That's all it is. It didn't go anywhere. It's in the same place. I just took one label off. So if I take this label off, I click X right there, and then when I hit inbox, that email is not there anymore, right? So, but if I go up here and I search and I type in label, all right, label colon, and then I type in and then there it is. It finds it, right? And remember, Google, everything comes with Google search technology, which is how cool is that, right? So then it starts to find it. So I just hit enter, and then boom, it pulled it up, right? It found that email for me. Or I could have searched her email address too. But right now we're working on a transaction. So as Scott just sent me an email. So I'm going to take his email and I'm going to add it too, right, to the same label. So let's do this. I'm going to go back and mark it as unread, right? So that's in there. So I can actually label it right now without even doing it. So I can just hit label, and then I can go and find that label I created, click there, boom. And now Scott's email is added to that label. Then I can mark it red, and then I can hit archive, boom. So it's no longer in my inbox. But if I need to find it, I can. It's real easy. I type the label, right? So now here's the thing. Now here's where Quicklinks comes in. Powerful, powerful tool. I do Quicklinks for active files, active transactions, or active projects, if you will. So think of it as like a project. So what I do is I type in label, colon, and then there's the label I want. I click label, right? So that generated a report of all the emails that had that label. Then I come over here to Quicklinks over on my left side, right? Oops. So over on my left side, see my Quicklinks, I hit add quick links. So what it does, so before we go there, look at my URL, mail.google.com/mail, and showing labels. So right there, there's that right here. If you look at label forward, that's what's here. That's what this, it's called a slug, right? So this is the emails up to there. This is the label sub, but I'm going to change that. That's kind of ugly. So I'm going to do a nice, what they call a pretty, right? A pretty URL or pretty slug. So I change it to, I retype it, I hit OK. So now over here on the left-hand side, I have a quick link to that label. So if I'm working on a transaction, I just hit that link, boom, and I can pull up that transaction. How cool is that? So the idea is to keep files, emails moving out of your email, right? Get them out of here. So, you know, read them, archive them, right? Archive them doesn't delete. Archive them just takes the inbox label off. That's pretty much it. So, so I recommend a priority inbox. You know, you find that over in settings. In fact, I even created a quick link for settings, so I don't have to go here and here, right? I mean, you just go over here and go, boom, one link, and there I am, right? So, and then that's all that is. So you have that. So once that, whatever URL's up here, you can create a quick link here for it. Now, I don't try. It's been tried to using other external, you know, but don't. But these are basically shortcuts for anything in your Gmail account, right? So, you know, so that's all it is. So then you got labels, you got inbox accounts, then you got filters, right? So there's another really cool thing like filters. So, for example, I get Facebook emails all the time. They do not, my Facebook, unless someone sends me a direct message, right? Direct messages show up in my important unread because I lost a listing one time because a potential client sent me an email on Facebook and I wasn't checking my Facebook email at the level that I would, and I missed it and I didn't see it for a couple of days, and they had, because I didn't communicate right away, they listed with someone else. Okay, so with that said, so because of that, I've created a filter so that my direct messages from Facebook appear here. Now, all my other Facebook emails, they go somewhere else. So you can add a label. Here's how you add a label. So like right here, this email down here is Zapier, right? So I get emails from Zapier all the time. So let's say I want to create a label called Zapier. So I just open up the email, I hit create more, or I want to create a label on I want to create a filter. So I'm going to go like this. So not a label, we can create the label from the filter. So I'm going to go filter messages like these, right? And then when you open up filter messages like these, it's saying like what? So this is contact at Zapier. Look, it pulled all my Zapier emails up because that's the current filter. And then we could say two. So like if you have, let's say you're pulling in 4 or 5 different emails in one account. So you can say, even if you create an alias, like say, if you own your domain, right, and you, like I own Aubrey.net, so I can make up emails on addresses on the fly. They're not accounts, but like I could say birthdays at Aubrey.net. So I could say any email to birthdays at Aubrey.net, then that would be the filter rule that I'm creating. But right now we're going to do Zapier. And then you can put in subject, has certain words or doesn't have certain words. So words you don't want. So in other words, if you add this word in there and it creates 500, but you can say, okay, 300 of them, the ones I don't want to have this word in it, so you put it there. Then has attachments, don't include chats. So if you want to create a filter for a person, you can create, if you have an instant message chat with them, it'll pull those in. And then you can do sizes and things like that. So it does all kinds of great little filters or rules. So now I say create a filter like this. So now that an email comes in, so what I'm going to say, if an email comes in, I'm going to say skip my inbox, right? Archive it. So that way, this is a good rule for Facebook. Don't have your Facebook emails go in. Now you can create a separate rule just for direct messages, right? So all your pings, pops, and likes and bumps and all kinds of crazy stuff you don't need to be polluting your inbox with. Skip your inbox. Apply this label. So then we can come over here and say choose label. And then I can say choose new. I can just say Zapier, right? Because Zapier is what I want the label to be. Nested under something, not for now. Or I could say maybe technology. I can create a technology label and then nest Zapier underneath it if I want it. So then I hit create, right? So now I have the option. So I'm going to say skip the inbox, apply this label, and then I can say never send it to spam, right? And then I can say choose a category. Categories are the personal, social. Those are the ones where you have the tabs across the top. I don't recommend those. I just don't think they're a very business-friendly application. So now, so now I created a filter, a rule. So anytime an email comes in with those rules, Gmail's going to skip my inbox and it's going to put a label on it. So I can even say, I think I can mark it red, right? Mark it as red, and then I can say apply this filter, right? So also apply filter to matching conversations. So I check this box right there, and I hit create filter. So all those emails are going to disappear out of my inbox, and they're going to be red. So they're all red and they're gone. But now if I want to go find it, I just come over to my labels, and then there it is. I pull up all those emails. They're all red. So you can create rules to get rid of stuff, right? So you create, bypass your inbox, get rid of the crap, and then train what's important, and then if you respond to people you respond to often, it's just going to figure it out and make it important. So, those are things you want. So like right here is my guy Sahil. I'm going to mark that important, right? He's a guy that sends me email. If I'm working on a project with him, I don't want his email buried down here. I want it up here where I can see it. So, so that's kind of my thoughts for today. Not too much. I mean, I'm going to give you those two takeaways: is priority inbox, Quicklinks, right? And you get priority inbox by going to settings up here in the gear, settings, and then you go inbox, priority, and then arrange how you want it. And then for Quicklinks, you go to labs, and then you type in quick, and then right side chat, put your chat box over there. It's a lot easier to manage your chat box over here than when it is over here, because on the right hand side you already have enough stuff. You have all these labels, and then you have Quicklinks over there. So we want to kind of clean that up and make it easier to use. So right side chat and Quicklinks, right? Quicklinks are basically shortcuts to a search. Create a search for your email. So you go back to inbox, generate a search, and then and then kind of bookmark that search, if you will. So that's what Quicklinks does. Those two items alone will really, really help you become organized with your email. So I hope that was helpful. Thoughts, questions? It appears we still have everybody online. You can let's see. So I so needed to. So I got a chat. I didn't see it. It says, I so needed to learn this today. Gmail always felt so cumbersome. So, well, I'm glad this is, online for it. Because Gmail is a $100 billion company. These guys know what they're doing, right? If Google can run a $100 million company, I think you can run your real estate practice. I got a bet. I'm betting dollars to donuts on that. If they can run their $100 billion company, you can run your real estate practice. Even if you're a mega producer, 10 deals a month, you still can run your practice. So anyway, so that's the way to keep it organized. And now we're going to go with in the future. So, and then I'll do it based on feedback. But we're going to go like calendar, we're going to do contacts and that kind of stuff. We're going to kind of systematically walk through the Google application so that you can use these free tools. Gmail's free, but I also recommend Google Apps. Google Apps is a premium version of Gmail, where it's called Google for Business, I think they call it. It's $5 a month or $50 a year, but you still pay monthly. It's like $4.16 a month. And you get, if you order an annual subscription, it's $4 and something a month. And then you get, but you get your own domain name, and you get more storage, and you also get tech support from Google if you need it, right? If you're using the free versions, you get web services. So if you ever, I've had Google on the phone and we've fixed problems. So anyway, so that is, So that's a very good reason to do it. Plus, also, if you own your domain, you can actually have multiple accounts in the future. So if you're a growing organization, you can add other people to that email domain, and then and grow from there. And then as the administrator, you have control over everything. And so if you look on here, I don't know, let's see. So yeah, like manage this domain, and then you click on there. I believe so. That's a whole nother dashboard that I don't go into too often. So it says loading. So there it is. It's loading, and you go into billing, all that kind of stuff. So I believe this account, I had this account when they were still free. There was one time where you could have created a Google Apps account for free and had 100 email accounts. Then they changed it to 50. Then they got down to 1. But I recommend that you just do, the $50 a year and just create a very, very powerful tool. So without, I'm going to open it up to questions. You can either email chat me, or you can, if you're still on the call, I believe you can talk.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I do have a question. This is Brooke.
Good morning,
Brooke. Do you know
Brooke.
how to, it's not about this, but it's related to Gmail. And
Okay.
I have the Google Work app thing for my domain. Do you know how to request a read receipt when you send an email?
Yes, that is in a, yes. When you hit compose, you come over here down in this bottom right-hand corner. There's a little arrow that says more options. You click on more options, and I don't know how to do it. I thought it was over here.
Well, you know what?
So,
I think that you are right, but I think that they maybe moved it, because that's what I was under the impression too. Okay, no problem. I'll check into it.
It's somewhere in there. Let's see. Read, no. Insert. Because I have a different tool that I use that tells me that they read it without, it's not asking them for a read receipt. I use a tool called Streak, and then Streak should show me recently viewed emails. So it's not showing me. If I go into my sent, it may or may not. No, I don't have it turned on here. But in my regular inbox, my regular mission critical email, so like if I bring this over here, there's it shows me over here, these little green eyeballs means that person read the email. Streak is a third-party add-on.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, we can talk about those, and after we go through all the main features of Gmail, we'll start talking about third-party add-ons. We'll make that probably like a separate webcast. So, yeah, I mean, let me look at my regular email. Let's see. Yeah, see, here you go. My mission critical, here, Aubrey.net, it says there, request read receipt. Now, I wonder if that's a setting under settings. So, and the fastest way to find that out is how do I set the read receipt, right? In Gmail. And of course it's correct. So compose a message, click the more options. So yeah, that's just basically saying that there, the same thing we just did. But if it's not there, I wonder if there's a lab setting or a setting somewhere that, turns that on and off. So, who knows? It may be. Not sure. So,
no problem. I'll play around with it.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's in there somewhere. Once you click on that settings, you're like, whoa, there's a whole new world, So there's Scott just sent it to open. Yeah. So that's kind of what we found. Yep. So anyway, well, if nobody else has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, and we'll, and then hopefully it stuck real good. It's a good recording. And as always, call me, email me if you have questions. Do not sit there and flounder in your business or in your efficiencies. My goal is to teach you how to create more leads, how to save money on your taxes, and how to just be more efficient with your business. That's my goal, right? So without further ado, I am going to say goodbye to all you great agents. Have a wonderful day. Go ahead and go get your unfair share. I mean, just go out there and get it. See you guys.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.